Today we're in Brewood near Wolverhampton in the West Midlands. We're going to a place called Chillington Hall, and this is one of the lesser known country houses, but it does have some importance because the gardens were laid out by Capability Brown, and the current house here was begun in the 1720s and it's home to the Gifford family. So this place should be pretty interesting to have a good explore. So I'll see you shortly. Alright, so I think it's going to be on our left down here. Yeah, Chillington Hall, open days. This place isn't open very often, it's got a select few open days a year. And as you can see, we're going down the main drive now towards the house. Down a sort of tree lined avenue. We've got trees on each side. I think there might be oak trees. I believe this is the main facade. I think it's the east front this is. I suppose we'll just park on the grass up here somewhere.
You have arrived.
So here we are. This is the Grade 1 listed Chillington Hall. So, how did we get here? Well, part of an earlier Tudor house that was formerly on this site was demolished, and in 1724 that part was replaced by the current south front that we can see here. The architect to this new south front was Francis Smith of Warwick, who you may remember from one of my earlier videos, designed Stoneleigh Abbey in Warwickshire, and I really like that place. Then, later on, the remaining parts of the Tudor structure were replaced by the modern day main parts of the house, and this major portion was built between 1786 and 1789. The original plan was to build an entirely new house to designs by Robert Adam, but in the end they decided to employ Sir John Soane, who incorporated the south range that we've just seen. There were to be two new wings, north and east, of 3-storey height, and the entrance front with its portico with Ionic columns. Some areas of the stonework now appear blackened, possibly by smoke blown on the wind from the direction of the industrial Black Country not far away. John Soane apparently intended for the walls to be faced with stucco, but this facing was never applied. This explains why the bricks have a rough surface and the arching is visible above each window. Interestingly, there's a flight of steps here leading up to a window, so we can suppose that that used to be an entrance at some point. And now we'll go and have a little tour of the house. Okay, so I've just come out of the house, and actually that was a bit more impressive than I thought it might be. There's a couple of really nice rooms in there. But now we're going to go and have a look at some of the gardens. So I'm leaving the house now, and we're going down into the parkland. And the park and gardens are actually grade 2 star listed. The landscape park and lake to the south of the house, they were designed by Capability Brown during the 1760s. And the first bit I'm going to go down to is the very large lake. And apparently it's about a 45-minute walk from the house. And there's quite a few follies and stuff to see down there, so it should be quite interesting. So as we just turning a corner down towards the large pool, there's actually the beginning or end of a canal down here. And you can't really see because there's a lot of reeds and stuff. But you can tell this probably would have been clear water once upon a time. Just carrying on a bit further, and we're coming into some woodland. Alright, so a bit further on down the path, and you can actually see the water of the canal now. If we just go down here a little bit. There we go. So we're near the canal proper now. And then a bit further on, I believe this is what was known as their sluice house. So it looks a little bit ruinous. Let's have a look if we can get a look inside or not. Yeah. So there's an old door that's locked here. So all the shutters are closed on this side, but I'll go back round the other side and we'll have a look. And this is actually grade 2 listed, this building is. And it was probably built towards the end of the 18th century. So we're looking at. And there's a large arch at the end. I don't know if you can, if we can see through there. And that leads onto the canal at the end. And from what I read, this was converted in the 20th century from what was earlier a boathouse. Now if we turn around and go slightly back up the path, I think I spotted something else, so let's have a look at this. Alright, so just off that main path we were walking down earlier, we've got this little structure here. And according to the map I was looking at yesterday, this is an 18th century ice house. Unfortunately, can't really look inside any further because that's closed off. But I'm sure there's a big dip inside there where they would have took ice out of the canal or the lake during the winter. They would have dropped it in there and then used that ice during the summer and stuff to cool the food and to make ice cream and stuff like that. And as you can see, there's a mound going around the top. That's all overgrown. Maybe that could uncover that a bit in future or something. So yeah, that's the ice house. And incidentally, that's grade 2 listed as well. Okay, so we're going to carry on down the path past the sluice house and see what we can find next. Okay, so I believe we're getting towards the end of what was known as the canal, and this will be where it meets the big lake, which goes by the name of the pool. So let's get a bit closer. Okay, so this next feature goes by the name of Payne's Bridge. And this goes by the name of Payne's Bridge because it was designed by the famous architect James Payne. And this bridge is grade 2 star listed. And as I was saying, this bridge marks the point really where the canal leads onto the pool, which we can see here, and it is absolutely massive. Let's just have a little walk over it. And that's looking up in the direction of the canal where we've been walking from. And this is the pool. These iron gates here lead back into the parkland, up towards the house. And if you've watched some of my earlier videos, you've probably seen some of Payne's bridges and buildings at the likes of Kedleston and Chatsworth. Let's get a bit closer down here without falling into the water, hopefully. There we go. Sort of in a classical style. And as we move on from Payne's Bridge to the pool, which was designed by Capability Brown, James Payne actually described the pool as follows: one of the finest pieces of water within an enclosure that this kingdom produces, the verges of which are bounded by fine plantations, intermixed with groves of venerable stately oaks. So as we move around, you can start to see that this is quite an historically important park, really. And just look how vast that lake is. And the lake, or the pool as it's called, was formed by constructing a high dam which flooded 3 ponds to form one large stretch of water. And apparently it ranks amongst the largest of Capability Brown's lakes. And it's 500 metres wide, with a curving 800 metre long arm running from its northern end. Let's continue a bit further and see what we can find next. I think there's supposed to be an old Gothic temple hidden in these woods somewhere, so I'm gonna go and see if I can find that. Aha. So I think this is it. You can already see there's like a window or door opening there that's in sort of a Gothic style. And obviously this is just very ruinous at the moment. Obviously an old folly to be looked at from across the lake or something. I'll pop up there and go around the front, see what it's all about. Like I said, it is very ruinous. As you can see, this looks out onto the lake. And if we turn around, there we go. So you can see the windows and doors are sort of in a Gothic style. Or what were windows once, maybe. And apparently this is grade 2 listed as well. It's obviously seen better days. My research suggests that this dates to around 1772. And if we get a bit closer, and from what you've seen at the back already, you can see that it's brick built, but with a render on the front to make it look like stone. There you go. And from the Gothic temple you can almost see back up to Payne's Bridge up there. Okay then, let's carry on, because there is bigger and better to see. Okay, so what's this? Right. So this is the Grecian temple, or the Ionic temple. And that's quite a sizable garden building. Now this has been attributed to either Robert Adam or Sir John Soane. So I'm reading conflicting things, so not too sure. But this is grade 1 listed, so this is quite a special building really. Anyhow, it's dated to around 1780. It's got the central ionic portico there of 4 columns, and at the top there's a central leaded fiberglass dome that you can just see poking at the top. And apparently it masks the gamekeeper's cottage to the rear. It looks like you can't get in, but I'll poke this through the window. I will take a picture, but just about visible on the other side of the lake, looking from the Grecian temple, there's a neoclassical temple, and obviously that would have been somewhere to rest and have a look across the lake, but also to act as an eye catcher from the Grecian temple and vice versa. And I'll try and get round there later, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to. Incidentally, you might be able to hear a bit of road noise in the distance, and that's because in the 1970s the M54 motorway was driven through the southern part of the park, and that passes only around 100 metres behind the Grecian temple. Oh, these are nice, aren't they? All different colours. Okay, so I'm heading back over Paynes Bridge now, and back up into the parkland, and I'm going to see if I can get back up to the house from here. And then to the left of the house there might be another couple of features, so we'll see. I don't think it's going to be possible to get to that neoclassical temple that we saw across the lake. So I think it's the other side of this, what looks like a private field now, the other side of those trees. So I think we're not going to be able to see that one. An interesting building up here as I make my way up the path. I'm not actually sure what this is, to be honest. Some kind of farm buildings up here. Not 100% sure if I should go this way, so I'll turn around. There's a bridge here though with a path underneath it. Might see where that goes in a bit. I think I've found civilization again. And a weird wooden structure of an acorn. But yeah, I think I'm back on the normal paths near the house now. Thought I was a bit lost then. I think that's Capability Brown. Pretty sure. So that's a nice little sort of memorial type thing to him after he designed the parkland. And a nice view into the parkland from there. Alright, so we're back near the house now, as you can see. And this impressive structure on the left, this is called the Bowling Green Arch. And it's called that because it used to lead onto a bowling green on the other side. Some impressive gates as well there. Don't think we can go in. But yeah, that used to be a bowling green. So, this is grade 2 star listed, and this dates to around 1730. And these impressive gates that I mentioned, these were by someone called Robert Bakewell. And Bakewell has also produced other ornamental ironwork at places such as Melbourne Hall in Derbyshire, amongst other places. And there's a pair of niches either side of the gates, and they've actually got statues in, which is nice. Because a lot of times you see these and they're missing the statues or whatever would have been in there. The gates are actually unlocked. So let's go and have a little look. Another sculpture of an acorn. And here's that bowling green arch from the rear. Just spotted something in this direction. Let's go and see what it is. This little pyramid type thing. To live in hearts we have left behind is not to die. Monument dedicated by Staffordshire Police Federation in memory of our colleagues who have died on duty. I'm guessing water maybe runs out of the top of that sometimes. Yeah, there's a pipe there. Alright, so I think I've come round to the correct side of those farm buildings that I was at a little while ago. Let's see what's going on down here. Right, so I think this is what's known as the model farm. Let's have a walk around to the other side where the lights might be a bit better. Right, so that's a little bit better. So this model farm slash stables, it's probably early 18th century from when the current house was being built. So this incorporates things like stables, barns, things like a smithy, a malt house and a granary, and maybe an acorn roasting house, I read somewhere. And all of these things would have been important for life at the Hall. And the centrepiece is this dovecote, which apparently once housed over 1,000 doves. And when they were doing renovations on this place not too long ago, they had to create access for a colony of bats. And if you look at this window up here, you can see how it's been cleverly designed so bats can get access in through that hole up there. And you've got those on various windows up here as well. I believe parts of this area are also used as sort of an art or sculpture studio as well. And I think this is where sort of animals would have been kept, like pigs and stuff like that. There's the dovecote again. And if you exit this part of the model farm, I think that brick wall over there, I think that's a wall of the kitchen garden. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's access to the kitchen garden at the moment. So, that was Chillington Hall, and that was pretty good actually. It was better than I expected it to be, and I was very impressed with the parkland, and a couple of the rooms by Sir John Soane in the house are really good, because it doesn't look majorly spectacular from the outside, so I was pleasantly surprised with that. And yeah, so that was pretty good. So thanks again for watching, really appreciate it. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time.